Thank you, Lutz. For those who do not know me, I'm Louise Wipfler from Wageningen Research. In Wageningen, we have Wageningen University, Wageningen research part, working at the environmental risk assessment team, mostly the risk of pollutants in the environment. I was asked to present the SOILPROM project, of which we are part, but we are not a coordinator. It's Wageningen University being coordinator, but I will present the project. So the project, SOILPROM project, started in September last year. It's a four-year project, EU funded, on the development of sustainable solution for soil pollution. That's actually the title of SOILPROM. It's a large group, European group, focused on soil modeling. And the background is actually that 60% of ecosystem services is degraded due to soil pollution. That's the statement. But there's also uncertainty in the impact of soil pollutants on soil processes, and specifically on soil functions like clean water, but also food provision and ecosystem services. Process models are used to simulate fate and transport on the various environmental conditions, but these models are often compartmentalized, and which makes that the impact of pollution cannot holistically be assessed. And that makes that we have from the SOILPROM project the goal to tackle soil pollution across Europe by improving models that predict the spread of harmful pollutants through soil, air, water, and plants, while promoting sustainable soil management to support ecosystem health. So that's a whole phrase that we developed together in the kickoff meeting. But the most important part is that we want to improve modeling or upgrade the models that already exist. We want to integrate them, and such that we can also provide support to policymakers and in taking decision on soil management. So there's a number of sub-objectives below this SOILPROM project. The first one is to upgrade knowledge and cutting-edge digital tools for modeling soil pollution. And we have a number of focal pollutants in our projects, which are listed here. So we have metals we will look into, specifically in Spain. We will look into PFAS, including ionizable other pollutants, nutrients, phosphorus, nitrogen, microplastics, and pesticides. And we will do this by integration of European databases, using the new standardized datasets which are in line with EU requirements. And we will promote sustainable practices, quantifying ecosystem services or the impact of ecosystem services in the context of local policies and scenarios. And we will do this through 7 use cases, and provide also recommendation for policymakers. And everything will be provided by open access on a modeling platform, and also a decision support tool will be developed for practitioners, which means that we aim for people who already are quite knowledgeable about modeling. Athens University is developing the modeling platform and the decision support tool. What type of projects results do we envision? I had a very nice graph in the proposal, which I can't read, but at first we will start with upgrading parts of the existing soil models, and also integrate them, and we will validate them under field conditions using 7 use cases. The local data that we produce in these use cases will be made available and compliant with EU requirements. We will develop a modeling platform to make the models available. We will develop a decision support tool through a web application. We will have demonstration use cases Scenarios will be developed for these use cases for ecosystem service assessment. And we will provide a set of recommendations for policymakers and local stakeholders. Now I would like to introduce you to the use cases. So this is quite generic. So the first one is in Cartagena, where we look into a mining site, an abandoned mining site, where there's pollution of different types of metals. And there's transport through wind erosion and atmospheric deposition, as well as water erosion. That's one of the use cases we will look into, where we will do measurements as well as model application. In Wageningen, there's a use case on microplastics and colloid transport. Here, actually behind the building, we'll do experiments as well as modeling. Jülich, we will look into the transport of pesticides, the flow of water in Germany, but also broader than Germany, isn't it? Yeah, and extend it to Europe or to larger scales. In the Netherlands, in Limburg, we will look into water erosion and runoff in relation to pesticides as well. And in Norway, we will look into sorption and desorption of phosphorus. And another use case is the Puck Bay in Poland, where an integrated model is being developed for soil and groundwater and surface water. And we look into transport of nutrients and marine discharge. We have a use case in the Netherlands again, in Valtemont, where we look into water erosion and atmospheric transport of pesticides again, and deposition of dust. And also we will look into microplastics. So this is both. We look at focusing specifically to the interaction between the atmosphere and the soil. And last but not least, we have a location in Belgium where we look into PFAS, PFAS deposition, and also the adsorption and desorption of PFAS, as well as plant uptake. So these are all the use cases, and the whole idea is that we start with upgrading the model or making plans for it and integration, and then see how we can assess or validate these models in the use cases. And the use cases are also linked to stakeholders. So these are actually the list of pollution processes that we would like to improve. So the advanced realism. These are 13 processes that we would like to improve, and which are also depicted in the graph. If I go through it, maybe I can use a mouse. Can you see it? No. But that's okay. So the first one is absorption and desorption of PFAS. That's one aspect that we would like to improve. PFAS is known to be ionizable, which has specific impact on the absorption processes. And what we specifically would like to do is through experimental work, parameterize our models. The models are in principle able to simulate the transport and absorption, but we need additional data, and that's what we would like to do. Colloid transport of microplastics is another improvement that we want to make. And the difficulty with microplastics is that they have different sizes and also different forms. So they can be flat or round, and each size impacts also the colloid transport of microplastics. We will look into metal biochemistry in soil. I don't know here a lot of detail, but the most complicated part of this is that these mining sites, the pH can be very low, until 2. So that has a large impact also on the transport of these metals. Then we have sorption and desorption of phosphorus. We will make use of the ice cream model here. If I remember well, we will also improve the process description in this model and underpin it with data. And then we have wind erosion, atmospheric processes for pesticides. We look here specifically in dust, into dust drift and how to quantify it. And that's also the case for microplastics. But what I understood, we will start with the pesticides to better learn about their behavior and later on apply this also to microplastics or add complexity for that. Then we have atmospheric inputs of PFAS to the soil. This is based on an atmospheric model which is used by Vito, and what they try to do is to improve the model description. What they exactly are going to do. If I remember well, no, so they want to improve the model. There's already a model in place, but that's not specifically for PFAS, but more for dust drift or just particle movement. And now they want to look into, okay, what does this mean for PFAS? And then we have wind erosion and atmospheric processes in metals. I was already talking about this, but we have models available on wind erosion as well as water erosion, but they are not specifically developed for metal transport, so they have to be adapted for it. And then we have hydrological transport of metals, soil and groundwater. Again, so we have to make the models adapt them such that they can also model the transport of metals and not only the water transport. We have plant uptake of PFAS. There we would like to do experimental work where we look into the uptake processes by plants. Because PFAS has specific characteristics. It's not a neutral substance, so that affects the uptake through the roots. By doing experimental work, we try to unravel the process and see how we can model the uptake and also predict potential concentration in fruits or in flowers or and how that affects, for example, food for humans. Then we have hydrological transfer of pesticides, soil and groundwater. That's more the integration. How to improve the linking between unsaturated zone and the groundwater model, and also how to best simulate the groundwater pressure, and because that's not trivial, the lower boundary conditions, so to say, of the unsaturated zone model. And then we have transport of nutrients in soil. I'm not sure, but probably this is about the Poland case here and how to improve the modeling here. So these are a lot of advanced processes that we would like to work on, and where we will start with soon. And then we have two other ambitions that I won't just touch upon shortly. First is to develop a modeling platform where we make the models available, as well as the decision support tool, and also advanced understanding on the links between soil pollution, soil function, and ecosystem services, and the impact of mitigation measures. So that's our two other ambitions, but we start now with more technical work in modeling. And the focal ecosystem service we will look into are food production, air quality, regulation and purifying water, reuse of nutrients, and pollution attenuation. That's a lot. I just wanted to go quickly into the methodology. I don't go to all the details, but on the top you see that we start with specification and then development, validation, dissemination. And currently we are now in the first year. We are mostly working on specification. So we revisit actually the model upgrades that we want to do, the blueprint for the databases, which database do we want to use, and what is the current state of knowledge of soil pollution, and also the knowledge gaps that that we can identify in relation also to ecosystem services. So we are really actually revisiting our proposal, and I would like to point to T 1.4, which is identification of models, upgrade and necessities. That's something that's currently going on, and where we would need your help actually. And I am the task lead of 1.4, and there's also planning now involved. So where we have to deliver a report where we revisit actually all the processes that we want to improve and the models that we would like to use. And in the proposal, it states that we will consult the ISMC. So you will be asked to review the report or provide your opinion on it. So maybe we can discuss this later after the presentation, how you see it and if you are aware of it, and if there was already discussion, I don't know. But I thought it is good to bring this up, because already around mid-April, the concept report should be ready, and we have to send it in to the EU portal by the end of April. And I thought, let's check what's in the proposal on the ISMC. And it states that the modeling activities will be implemented through the creation of a working group within the International Soil Modeling Consortium. And it will be composed by researchers from SOILPROM beneficiaries, together with external experts. And we will have regular meetings to provide feedback and test of the project models and tools. And a special budget will be dedicated to this working group. So I thought, just bring this up and see if you're aware of it and how we can move this further. Because if you're not, then we of course need to discuss. And also, it's good to get a common understanding on how we can link to each other and how we can support each other. That was my end point of the presentation. Oh, here's a graph from the project proposal where you see in blue actually the role of the working group. So the working group is seen as one of the end users, and it's expected to have regular meetings with the working group where you can provide your feedback. I think this is it from the SOILPROM project.
Thank you.